As a listener, I'm curious about how you choose the topics and the guests for each episode. What is your process for ensuring that you bring fresh and engaging content to the audience? So the topics a lot of times are coming from, that's kind of my job, different things that come to me over the course of the week or the weeks leading into it, which usually leads to my social media posts. And then I see what engages people from there. So when I make a good social media post, like you said, about whether that be fatherhood or leadership, we see the ones that start to gain a little bit more traction. And then we go from there, and I usually come in and I make fun of Mike when he comes in here fresh without knowing what's going on, but that's the beauty of it, is I don't want Mike prepped. I find that if I just bring some topics up, we have way better conversation because you're coming in without, your mind isn't being slowed by trying to go back and think about, what did I want to say for that? It's just you blurting out whatever you want to blurt out, and that takes us to wherever we're going to go. Right. And I think that's what makes it engaging. Welcome to the Tango One podcast. Recently rebranded.
Let's go.
Co-host Mike Difazio, and I'm your host Tony Smith. As always, trying to grab my coffee here. Oh, bro, what the heck, man? We did not plan this, but we look good.
Yeah, I know. No sleeves. Today is the day for no sleeves. No sleeve day.
Yeah, it's nice outside. I chose to go with the Dennis Rodman old school Pistons jersey, and nice. You walk in, you're like, I gotta change. You come out with the tank top on. I was like, yeah, man. Yes.
Honestly, if in a perfect world, it would be sleeveless day every day.
I've been trying to make that go a little bit more, like the tank tops.
Yeah.
And speaking of the rebranding, so you're gonna love this.
Okay.
I'll have to show you after. I sent to my printer, my guy who does all my merch. I'm like, I want a Tango One podcast tank top, but I want it to be like a basketball jersey.
Okay, sick.
Like this.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like a reversible jersey. So I'll do the Tango One podcast on the one side and then flip it. It's Garage Gym on the other side.
That sounds incredibly custom.
That's kind of cool though, right?
It's pretty sick.
It's kind of cool. You got any better ideas? What do you want? What do you want from merch? We got to get some new merch. We got nothing.
I think like a jumbo print of the big new logo across the front, where it's coming off the sides of the shirt and stuff.
Okay, on what kind of a t-shirt? Like a
sleeveless.
Yeah,
of course. Sleeveless. Yeah, of course.
Like a regular tank top though, not like a sleeveless t-shirt.
No. Sleeveless t-shirts are hillbilly, man.
Yeah,
you need the proper sleeveless.
I feel like you can pull off hillbilly.
I partially am hillbilly. I have one of those. I have a t-shirt once that I cut the sleeves off and I cut it real low.
I'm into that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just t-shirt with just the essentially the sides cut off, and it's all fun and games until you walk past the barbell at the gym and it catches and you rip your shirt in half. I totally did that.
Really?
Yeah. So I still wear that shirt to the gym, but it's funny because half of it is ripped all the way to the bottom seam. And the other half is not. I feel like I just gotta, maybe rip the other side so it's even.
Yeah.
It's called controlled chaos.
Danny I had her cut me one. And I like when they cut it, if I can't do it to save my life, but cut it so that it's really small around the collar.
Okay.
So it shows a lot of the shoulder.
Like the ones you gave me?
Well, not as bad as those ones. Those ones are hilarious.
Spaghetti string.
You should have worn one of those today. You gotta wear one next week for the guests.
I'm not even kidding. I wore one of them.
The old school Arnold spaghetti string.
Yeah.
Even the back of that thing is a Y.
Bro, I feel like I'm wearing. I feel like I'm wearing a bra. I'm wearing a spaghetti strap.
That thing could not contain me anymore. It looked ridiculous on me.
Yeah.
So where I was going with this, she cut one of my baseball t-shirts because it's so hot when I'm coaching.
Yeah.
Not for games. Games I gotta wear a uniform for practice. Course. And she's like, "Are you sure you're allowed to wear that the baseball diamond? I can see your nipple." And I'm like, "I don't know. I feel like it's okay." I don't know.
I mean, straight up, I put that shirt on. I put that shirt on to eat dinner, the sleeve, the spaghetti strings tank top you gave me. That's probably not the proper word for it, but I put it on to eat dinner, and I 100% ate dinner with my nipples out.
Was it just you, Elisa? Or
yeah.
Your mom's.
I could wear it to my mom's. That'd be a funny conversation.
But into it? I mean, she's already pregnant. But
yeah. I mean, double pregnant.
Yes, score. I'm glad I could help.
Yeah,
glad I could help. Man, it's been a pretty cool week. I did a talk last week, man. Remember, I was doing it the day after.
Yeah,
we met up last week. I went to the Windsor Bridge Company and I did a team working workshop for an hour.
Yes.
Bro, I killed it, man.
I
was a little nervous going in there. I thought it was going to be challenging. You know what? You make these, and you and I talked about this actually on my ride there or my ride back.
The ride back. You called me on the
ride.
Yeah.
we talk about this, and like everybody does it. You make up this story in your head. You create something in your head that isn't true, and for some reason, I've never even met these people. I thought that this was going to be a tough crowd. I thought that they would have a hard time buying, into what I'm saying. The people, it's just people, and I tell my story to people, and they love it, and I use my story to motivate them to create strategies and implement things in their lives that can make them stronger. First of all, in your brain, right, and then their heart and your body, right, and it all links up. And everybody, I don't know why I think that every group's going to be different. Every time I go into a group, I like talk myself out of why they're not going to like this, and then I go in and I just speak from the heart, and people love it. It's awesome. I loved doing it. I was so proud to do it. It was awesome. It was an awesome day. You leave there just with this adrenaline rush that's like equal to kicking in a door or hitting a deadlift on your deadlift PR, whatever that might be.
That's amazing. Yeah, you called me, and just like I love just hearing people win, man. Like you called me with this huge win. I was stoked for it. I was stoked to hear it. It was awesome to hear. And like you started talking about how you and I have talked about this a couple of times. Like, is imposter syndrome, or like not knowing what to say, I guess, or not feeling like you're qualified to tell people how to do things. I've actually had a hard time with this a ton, and it's funny hearing you say it, and you hear other people say it too. But then you get a call like you when you called me back that day, or when you called me that day and you told me and shared this amazing win. You were like, I don't know why I think this. You don't know why you feel like you're not qualified sometimes. It's like you are. We are both qualified to talk about what we're good at, and we're both good at the things that we know. And I mean,
well, your response was pretty funny because you look at me and you're like, I never thought I'd hear you say something like this. I can't imagine you being ever in this situation.
Yeah.
And as I do to the people that are mentoring me, the people that I like hang around with, and not just in mentor situations, just friends and that have success. And and I'm sure I think the same about them, and I'm sure they have the same thing that I just felt.
Yeah. And if they don't have it, I'm sure that they felt it at some point. They probably worked through it. Like their first couple reps, they probably had to like get used to being or like proving to themselves that they are qualified. And like if you don't have reps under your belt in doing something, you're not going to feel confident in it. Even though, like, for me, for example, teaching somebody how to run and scale a woodworking business, like, I'm more than qualified to teach it, but I've never taught it. So I'm missing the confidence piece that goes to that, to be able to kind of stand up with with my with a straight back and like speak and share the knowledge that I have and that I've built up over the years. It's like I just need reps, man.
Yeah, you need time on target.
Yeah, time on target.
Time on target. Yeah. The first time I did Blast, I was very nervous.
Yeah.
I had a rough idea of what I was going to say, and I went in there, and it was just kind of like, it's time on target. It's repeating it. It's making it repeatable. It's cutting. It's adding to. It's improving. It's customizing it to the person that you're dealing with, because every person is going to receive that information you're providing, no matter how valuable. Mm-hmm. If they don't get it or want it, you got a problem. So you got to find a way to break through. And often, like, I find like maybe with your stuff and with my Blast stuff, people are there because they want it. When people come to you for this woodworking coaching that you're getting ready to, we just like dropped a dime on this, didn't we?
I mean, yeah, we could totally talk about it.
So what I'm saying is, like, people have paid for your services, so I think that they want it in a different way. When I go into that classroom, and same with Blast, people are paying to come to my camp. They know what it's about. They know they're paying for me to hang out with them and give them this information and this skill set. When I go into these rooms, one person hired me. And is pushing me into this room in front of 25 people who don't necessarily, care or want me there, or, they just want to go home, whatever it is, because they're being paid to be at this seminar, right? They're not, you know what I'm saying?
They're not interested.
Maybe I view those differently, those speaking engagements a little bit differently than I do the one where they've actually paid the money to come to my camp. So I feel like that gets in my head a little bit.
I mean, like, with Blast Camp, it felt so... And maybe this is why I think this about you. Like, how could you ever feel imposter syndrome? Because I remember the first time we ever did an event together, like, I came to one of your events, I was like, damn, this is so dialed in. And I'm like, maybe this dude's just killing it in life all the time because he's got all these systems and these plans and these things, and like he must never trip up. And it's just like, you're just a dude still, you know, you're just teaching things that you've done to maximize or to grow or to win in the past, and like you're sharing your experiences, and that's all that it really is. Because Blast Camp was super dialed in, I thought, and I think we were like Blast Camp number 2.
Yeah, you were 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think we're number 2.
Yeah, Blast Camp kept getting better and better, and Blast Camp was developed from SWAT training camp, so it wasn't really my first kick at the can.
True.
It was my first civilian kick at the can, I guess. And yeah, the systems are dialed in. However, when you push any system to its max capacity, you're going to find some creases, you're going to find some holes, you're going to find some things you didn't even think of.
Right.
And that's what it seems to happen. And funny, it's like all those speaking things were actually, when I was teaching that stuff, were actually the ones that were pushing my systems to the max, because it was adding one more thing into the things that I do, right?
Right.
Into my schedule, into my my bandwidth to give out. And one thing about the speaking and the blast and the coaching that I do for the Tactical Life program, my online fitness and mentorship program, is just that it's giving a lot of energy to something, right? It's different than giving it to this gym in terms of the systems that go behind the scenes of this gym. The energy that I find is the most tiresome and that takes the most out of you is the energy that I give to the garage gym members, to the actual people.
Right.
The energy that I give to my family, the energy I give to those Tactical Life coaching people. Does that make sense? That's the exhausting part. The stuff, the numbers and the writing the social media posts, that it takes energy, but it's different kind of energy.
It's a different
when you
energy,
stand in front of a room of 25 people and
it's
deliver.
active. It's like active.
You know, yeah, when I train out here for 3 hours and give everything I can to get people rolling, it's like you're tired. You're exhausted on a different level. It's weird.
Yeah. There's different types of tireds for sure. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Like, that's what I'm hoping to get into, man. Like, that's the game plan.
Hoping to get into.
I'm getting into it. I already started.
Come on, Blast Camp is how you say everything as matters, right?
Yeah, true.
It's what I am getting into. It's what I will be doing. It's what I will be conquering. Yeah.
It's what So I am getting into coaching other wood shop owners. My program is going to be called Build the Builder, and I'm going to start focusing on building the builders instead of building the furniture. I realized over the last 2 years that like that's where my heart went. My heart went to the people that I was teaching over the furniture that I was building. Am I good at furniture building? Absolutely. Can I kill it? Yes, 100%. I still do. But my focus and my heart is like focusing now on building the builders, as it always was. I just never realized it at the time.
I mean, right from day one working with me, when you brought me in like with the Tango One solution stuff into your business.
Into the shop, yeah.
You know, and one of the first things I remember, our first meetings before we actually went in with your team, was that you wanted to make your builders into the best.
Yeah.
So it is the same. Like the mission in my, like, listening to you, and obviously it's not the first time I've heard you speak of this, and we speak off camera about some of this stuff, right? So the mission hasn't changed for you. Just the platform has. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe the method of execution has changed, but the mission is really very close to the same, if not bang on the same.
It's true, and you know I've realized this a little bit recently. Like the mission is the exact same. Like there's different faces, there's different tools essentially that I'm focusing all my energy on now. But you're right, like the mission is the exact same. I used to talk to my guys all the time about, you know, I would love a day where we can all drive Porsches to the wood shop, and then I would tell them right after that that's not going to come from me paying you guys a wage. Like it's not about what I'm giving you guys financially for payroll. It's like, what am I giving to you guys knowledge wise, skill set wise? Like how am I helping you guys with your money after you've made it? Like, are you guys making good decisions? Like how are you guys continuing to grow as people outside of the shop? And that was always one part of it, and that's something that I want to continue to teach, and to, like, you know, I want to nurture that in people. I want to grow people that are working with their hands, because maybe it's just because I have some different, I'm drawn to it in a way where it kind of hits home for me. But like I just see so much in people that are able to work with their hands, and sometimes I feel like those people that are working with their hands, they don't get the rest. They don't get, you know, the studying, the books. Like maybe they're not interested in reading because it's not cool, but they never were shown why it was necessary to learn it. You know, that there's something there that I have to teach, and I passionate about it, and I really want people to win, man. Like, so whether it's me growing the guys inside the shop through building furniture and through, you know, teaching them leadership in being in the shop, or maybe it's these guys in their own shops learning how to become better leaders to their people, and me just kind of doing, you know, the mentoring role and kind of giving them a roadmap to follow and better tools and stuff. That's what I'm focusing on now.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It is exciting, man. It's a big change, and this is kind of the first time we've ever talked about it. So this is, I guess, the first time I'm going live with it. But
yeah, like I didn't even know if we were allowed to. I tried to actually steer us a little bit away from it because I didn't know if we were supposed to go there, and I felt like I dropped the ball a little bit with a secret.
I mean, it's a secret, and it's not like that's just it's. Like I said, I've always done it. So now it's just like, how do I take it to an enormous level? And I know there's going to be a lot of people I can help. You know, I've fallen on my face a ton, and I've never really had someone in my space telling me how to get from point A to point B. I've always worked with my uncle. You knew that. I've worked with you. I've worked with multiple mentors over my life, and it's like I got a ton of knowledge now to give, and I can't wait to watch other people succeed. I can't even say that word right now. Watch other people succeed, man. But yeah, that's the next step for me in my career and my skill set is going to be to help a lot of other people.
Woo, let's go. Let's go. All right. All that being said, it is time for this week's segment of The Morning Wood. The Morning Wood is sponsored by my good friend and co-host, Mike Difazio. And it is where we take a question from the listeners, or whether that be a comment on Instagram, a direct message in any other format. So get a hold of us. If you see Mike or I on Instagram, feel free to shoot us a message or drop in a comment on one of our posts or on a social media in any form. And we'll pick one, and then we go with it every week. And whether we have a guest or not, we try to go every other week with a guest. So let me pull up this week's question. Give me 1 second here.
So yeah, guys, write comments, comment questions or DM us questions. Ask the questions you guys want us to answer, whether it's about leadership, being a dad, or whatever you guys have questions.
Yeah,
just ask
absolutely,
them.
Man. Anything is up for grabs. I mean, at the end of the day, we pick which one I guess we want, but we really try to get to all of them, whether it's deliberately right here in this segment of the show, or just as like speaking topics. We often try to just have some ideas in the back of my pocket that we're going to talk to Mike about, and that's where we get a lot of those ideas.
Yes.
So this question is actually kind of along those same lines. As a listener, I'm curious about how you choose the topics and the guests for. I guess I kind of preluded that one. Guests for each episode. What is your process for ensuring that you bring fresh and engaging content to the audience? All right. So as a listener, curious about how you choose the topics. So start right there. So the topics a lot of times are coming from, that's kind of my job here. Mike does bring, obviously that's why I sought him out. I really recruited him. I fought with Mike to get him as my co-host on the show for very long. Mike is the toughest sell in the world. This guy sells stuff and then he uses it against you to his ability to sell, to counter, to not be sold. It took me 2 years to get him on Blast Camp. It took me 2 years to get into your Reclaim Artistry business as a coach, for a teamwork coach, and then now it took me almost a year and a half to get you as the podcast co-host. But now that I got you, you're all in. So the topics comes from different things that come to me over the course of the week or the weeks leading into it, which usually leads to my social media posts. And then I see what engages people from there. So when I make a good social media post, like you said, about whether that be fatherhood or leadership, we see the ones that start to gain a little bit more traction. Mm-hmm. And then we go from there. And you usually come in, and we really like to, I make fun of Mike about he comes in here fresh without knowing what's going on. But that's the beauty of it, is I don't want Mike prepped. I find that if I just bring some topics up, we have way better conversation because you're coming in without, your mind isn't being slowed by trying to go back and think of, what did I want to say for that? It's just you blurting out whatever you want to blurt out, and that takes us to wherever we're going to go. Right. And I think that's what makes it engaging.
But it's not scripted.
It's just that. It's not scripted.
Yeah.
It's barely even scripted by me. I have 3 or 4 ideas of where I want to go for a show.
Yeah.
I bring it to Mike, and he just blurts out whatever, and we end up wherever we go.
Yes,
I
sir.
think that's why it's engaging. What about you? I know you don't watch the topics, but what about the engaging part?
I mean, I know the topics we've spoken about before, the 4 Fs that we've been working on, which is more it's all personal development, right? It was finances, faith, family, and
here we go again.
Yeah, I forgot the 4th one last time too. Finances, fitness.
There we go. Fitness. I'm like, come on, look at
we're in the gym right now. We're in a gym, but yeah, like, it's those things. It's like, if it's not those 4 things, I'm typically not even interested in having a conversation. Like, that's my honest truth. I mean, you can veer off those things a little bit, sure, but like, I'm, for the most part, I'm dialed in on like just personal growth all the time. So that's where my focus is. So whatever topic you're bringing up is totally unscripted, because I show up here, I make the coffees, we sit down, and then we have a conversation, and then we work out after, and that's the jam here.
Yeah,
that's my role.
But we say that, we kind of downplay your role. You have been way more involved lately. Like, you've taken like a way more of a leading approach to the podcast. You're answering comments on Instagram, and you're getting people going, which I love. So I wanted you here. Like selfishly, it wasn't just to hang out with you. It's because I thought you were going to bring a lot to the show. I thought you were going to get a lot more engagement and get us to push a little farther. At the end of the day, will the podcast ever make money? I don't know. It's not the goal of it. The goal is to, help as many people to do more for themselves and be more for others.
Yes.
And I hope that that's what it does. So when to continue on to that question, how do we pick our guests? Our guests, man, it has really just been about who do I think can help us, whether that's from maybe a contradicting point of view or from a supportive point of view or aligned point. I shouldn't say supportive, aligned point of view with kind of how we operate, to just help others to do more and be more. So I'm trying to find successful people, interesting people who have different opinions, and bring them on the show. We've done so many Zooms, but since Mike's jumped on, we've really tried to get away from Zoom. I love doing these things in person. I think they're better in person.
100%.
I mean, we've got if we went to Zoom, we've got access to such great people to get on here. And maybe one day we'll be in the opportunity where Mike and I will fly out and maybe do some podcasts in person. I think would be a great goal of ours.
Yeah.
To really make these things, jive and go see something different, or maybe bring some people into the studio.
True.
But for now, it is really trying to highlight local folks who we think can offer, a great benefit. I know you've got some people on your radar.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. I mean, there's a couple of people that are reaching out to me now too. But like, there's a lot that our county has to offer, man. Like, there's a lot of people doing a lot of big things. I remember when I first started getting into business, it was like 2013. And all I ever heard was that there's no money in Windsor. There's no money in Windsor. No money in Windsor. Nothing. It's like, then I just started selling actually millions of dollars worth of custom furniture, which is a very up on the high scale of a luxury item. Nobody needs custom furniture. It's fully a want, right? And like I said, I'm selling millions of dollars worth of furniture over the last 10 years and 13 years of building custom stuff. Like, there's tons of money here, and the more you follow it, the more you pay attention to it. There's a lot of people doing a lot of very big things in this area, and it's crazy because they were always here. They've been here their families have been here for generations.
Right.
It's crazy to me to hear. It's growing up where I grew up, how I grew up. Like, I didn't know these people. Now I know these people. Now I'm friends with these people. Now I have relationships or investments with these people. It's like there's a different edge that I had to learn about this area, and I think we need to highlight them all day long because there's people doing big things here, and it's kind of under the radar.
Yeah, I mean, big things. We've had a few NFL football players on.
Yeah.
We've had UFC fighters on here. We've had the highest end of fitness coaches on this podcast. We've also had people like Mahari Hagos and Jeff Casey who have raised just millions of dollars for local charities. Like, we've really had an array of people over the years, and the 5 years that Tango One Podcast almost now has been around, which is crazy to me.
That is crazy, yeah.
100 and almost 50 episodes coming up, and now almost 50 episodes with just you alone. I think we
Damn.
started at like 105, 108, something like that of official tracking, because like you kind of came in and came out. You wouldn't let me be sold. You just put the tip in a little bit, and then you kept pulling it out. Put the tip in a little bit, pull it out. But now you're all the way in, man.
Yeah,
all the way in. Pregnant twice, as he says. And that's been the beauty of it. I love lining up these guests. We do have guests, and feel free if you're one of these people who comment and who reach out to us. My take on that, I'm always apprehensive, to be honest. It's like, have you ever listened? How do you know you're perfect for our show if you've never listened? Right? So that's what I'm saying. If you just saw one highlight and you reached out and you said, I'd love to be on your show, tell my story. To me, it sounds like more like you want to be on my show to advertise yourself.
Right.
And I'm not against you coming. I understand that is part of coming onto a show. That's why you were originally on the show, but it wasn't really to advertise. It's like that's the secondary purpose. And
Right.
for me, it's the primary is to help other people from what you're going to come on here to say. And that's not to help other people to spend money at your shop. That might be a derivative of what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm kind of standoffish. So people who have listened to the show who are like, man, I love your show. I'd love to be on there. You know, the Wind Creek guy, like, you know, like we're going to be having him on here soon.
100%. See, that guy's watching, that guy's commenting on everything we make.
Yeah, you know, or versus the person who just kind of cold calls and says, like, I think I'd be great. You know, I don't think you would be.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, that's kind of where it goes. So if you're somebody, you think you see this highlight that Fahad's going to put up, right? You see this highlight, you think you're good for the show. Go back and listen to some shows. Make sure that we either align or that you think that you can get in here and have a good conversation in a different opinion that's not going to turn to anger. That's what I'd love to have.
Whew.
Right?
You might get a little spicy, though.
Yeah.
I mean, we're okay with spice.
I mean, last week got a little spicy. I mean, I definitely don't agree with Haas on everything. The guy's one of my good friends. Like,
Yeah.
I stood in his wedding, you know, like he's like, my kids call him uncle.
Yeah.
I don't agree. I mean, when you say Donald Trump's a man of integrity, it might have blown me away a little bit, right? But there's other things I very much agree on, and that's cool. Like that's what I love about Dave Haas, last week's guest, is him and I can leave a room completely in disagreement about some things.
Yeah.
Vegetarian versus carnivore, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know, yin and yang, and have zero. There's like zero conflict between us. It's like the conflict is conflict,
Bro.
but it's not like there's no negatives. It's like, yeah, cool, we're still friends, yeah, right?
Dude, that's the way it should be, man.
Yeah.
Like, just leave me alone.
Or if you're so against what somebody else says, then just end that relationship. That's fine. Like, what you do or say bothers me so much that I can't let it go when you leave this room for 2-3 days.
Yeah.
Or I feel the need to comment and tell you how wrong you are on your social media posts. Well, you're not the relationship for me. It's time to unfollow, like, as a friend and as an Instagram follower,
True.
of course.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think a lot of those conversations need to be had.
Yeah.
Even the ones that people, like, some people are so, like, I don't remember which guy says it. Some guy I follow is like, when people stop talking, bad things happen. You know, when people stop having not the arguments, but they start talking about two topics that are conflicting, it's like bad things happen when they completely stop, because one's being viewed as the bad guy, and on the other side, you're viewing them as the bad guy. So, like, but you're not really nobody's the bad guy. You just have different opinions. But we're still Canadian. We're still people. We're still, you know, still Americans, whatever. Like, we're still people. And I think that society, the news, and all these things, right versus left, whatever, they try to paint the other side as the bad guy. And it's like, we're not. You know, we're not. Like, stop dividing us as people and start, like, looking at who's doing the division.
Yeah, I did a post and I got like lots of people commented on it. I think we talked about it on the show. And it was like, it really meant a lot to me because something had happened that day. And this is somewhere I've come a long way. I know with COVID, like, I was letting some of that stuff get to me, man.
Yeah,
some of the
me too.
opposing opinions. And you know, I read a post. It was completely not in line with how I view things. Didn't make me angry. I didn't feel the need to, like, comment and lay into somebody. I didn't need to unfollow them. And I just, you know what I did? I just went about my day. And it was okay. It was okay that whoever it was, you know, Bill Jones had a different opinion on something than I did.
Damn Bill Jones.
Right? And so that, I think that's where we need to get. It's not,
Yeah.
and sometimes conversations that we have to be had, like you were alluding to there, and you were saying, but not every time, man. Like, man, okay, you want milk and sugar in your coffee? Go for it.
Yeah.
You know,
right,
like,
yeah.
you know, like, I feel like everybody's got to correct everything on everybody on everything.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to be there.
It's not
either.
even worth your time, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of these arguments aren't worth your time. Other times, you know, maybe they need it.
Yeah. And if it bothers you so much, like, this is something Dave would say, look within first. Why is it bothering? What is missing in you that's allowing you to be so bothered by this comment?
Fair enough. I mean, that's not a bad idea.
It all starts within. I believe that. That's Dave and I are definitely aligned with that, that point of view.
True.
Yeah, I went out to Lunga Vida this weekend.
You did?
Of Dave, yeah, I went out to Lunga Vida. We had our 12-week transformation with the Strength Squad.
Nice.
So that's the semi-private group that we do at the Garage Gym. So it's like an upgraded membership. So you've been in our regular classes. You're going to do one right after here at the Garage Gym. Free trials. But no, we do that. You see, everybody comes in and we do the same workout. Sure, you might be regressed or progressed from the person next to you based on like your, injuries or athletic ability or fitness levels, right? But the actual strength squad, it's smaller groups than our regular classes, and every single person in there has their own workout.
Yeah, it's like more focused.
Yeah, it's very like we say the upgraded membership, the upgraded investment is upgrading your intention. Right, so it's making you more bought in and more dedicated to what you're doing, and it's it's upgrading the attention you're going to be getting from us. Austin's making your own program. He's checking in with you constantly. How are you doing? He's coaching the hell out of it in a way that we just cannot coach the bigger groups, right?
Right.
With equipment that it's not possible to have some of that equipment.
Yeah.
Times 12.
I see it. Yeah.
Right. So that's how it's doing, and they get full out fuel programming, nutrition customized to them. And so they did a 12-week transformation. The results, unreal. So we went to Lunga Vita to kind of celebrate. I brought out a big brisket.
Nice.
We smoked it. We had a huge meal. We hung out.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Smoked some cigars and just like kind of celebrated those people and Austin. Celebrated Austin too very much because he put everything into that program.
Nice. Which
was wild. We do that. Those people have now been with us, almost 6 months. They've been going on this upgraded membership, and we didn't want to upsell everybody in here. We just that kind of group just came about naturally. And what happened? We started to get so many people kind of knocking at the door, but what's going on over there? But we didn't want to take more people to the group.
Right.
We opened up more classes. I sent out 15 text messages to kind of people who had shown interest in the strength squad, and within 24 hours, we sold all 12 spots.
Nice.
On 15 messages. That's it. Wild. It was awesome, and we're so pumped about it. So now that's like an added thing that we've got after people have been doing our classes for a long time. This is just something that's adding a little bit more motivation, a little bit more dedication to what they're doing.
Do you think it's because like they fall into not routine, but like they hit a new plateau when they're just doing the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, we try to
like
keep enough variety, and we do keep people progressing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people, they yearn for a little bit more. The people who are really, really gone all in.
Yeah.
And it's, this program we offer too, it's only bi-weekly. So you can kind of come and go. You want to come and go 6 weeks hard or 12 weeks hard and then drop out. It's like, no problem.
Right.
Go back to our regular classes. You're still going to do awesome in our regular classes. Our regular classes blow away anything else offered in the city. I'll tell you that.
For sure.
Right. So that's really cool. And it's just really cool to see people kind of giving more of themselves. And it's cool to watch Austin kind of just take this whole thing and be in charge of it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like a guy along for the ride. He's programming for me as if I'm a student. I love it.
That's great.
It's been awesome.
Yeah. Just follow this. Take all the guesswork out of it for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Good.
So what's been up with you, man? So you've been, how's the gym been coming with you? You've been hitting those things?
No, been slacking super hard. Yeah. So I'm getting back into it this week. I've been back into it, but it's been a very, like I said, getting to this point where I'm, deciding to take on students with the woodshop training and stuff like that. This was an enormous, emotionally, spiritually, mentally draining battle that I've had to go through for the last probably 4 or 5 months. On top of everything that's already happening with the baby, with becoming married and everything, this has been a huge decision for me to kind of take my focus off what was and then just kind of focus on what is to be in the future kind of thing. So, but now that I know where I'm going, I can at least start to focus again, because it just sent me down whirlwind after whirlwind.
Right. So this came up at the bridge company last week. One of the questions was they've heard about some of the turbulence I've had in my past with my mental health, and it was like, how do you prevent yourself from sliding back to there? Mm-hmm. And my answer was, don't do what I did. Or what I used to do, which was like in times of chaos, in times of stress like you're having, is to further distance myself from the habits that make me strong.
Right.
The argument would be, and the coaching point to you, or the observation Danny would make, and I hope you would make for me, is now's the time when you got all this stress going on to double down on that.
Yeah.
To eat healthier. To eat cleaner, right? And to make sure that it doesn't have to be an hour workout, dude. You can be making sure you're doing 25 push-ups right out of bed and 25 push-ups right before bed, but doubling down on those good habits that are going to keep you right so you can keep moving forward. I think that's what we do as dudes, and probably women too, but I'm speaking as men.
Yeah.
We you fix something and then you're like, oh, I'm good. and then you ignore everything that made you good.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden you're freaking hurt again. Like that, if you relate that to like an injury.
100%. Like, well, that's where the discipline comes in of like everything that you're training every day. You know, like you're supposed to be building it up for when the hard days come. And it's, you know, you train on the good days so that on the bad days you don't have to worry about it. You just fall back into routine. You know,
Your lowest level of training.
Yeah,
right?
which should constantly be going up, right? Because we talked about this many times. Your ground floor is constantly raising. When you fall and you hit the ground floor, it's much higher than it was a year ago or 2 years ago. Constantly raising your ground floor. But I was still like, I was still always eating clean. I think that's one thing that's like really changed for me is eating clean is like a lot easier for me now because I know what that means and like just kind of sticking to whole foods and stuff, but like not watching how much I'm eating was something that kind of took a toll on me for sure. But it was the thing for me this time around. It wasn't like just fall back into what's always worked because I was not in a time of stress. I was in a time of indecision, which we've talked about 1,000 times over and over again. Indecision is the worst decision.
Yes.
And I was stuck in it for months, man. So it was it was tough. Like it was tough talking to Lisa about what the future looks like. It was tough talking to myself, like trying to figure out where we're going, what to do next, how we're going to make this work, what are we doing here, what are we doing there. Like when everything after like the main decision, like for what you're doing with your life, like when you're in indecision with that big of a question, it's like everything below it starts to crumble because if you don't have the very top, your foundation set, everything else doesn't have a solid foundation to be built on. So it's like
go in the woods, man.
Yeah, right. You told me to go in the woods. And it's funny because I thought about that a ton. You know, just go in the woods, just like that alone time. But I really couldn't. I had clients that I have to take care of still. I got people that are coming in the shop still. Like I'm still working on some of this stuff. So I was like kind of trapped. But it was a very, like I said, it was emotionally draining. Like just everything draining everything. And damn, like physically working like I used to is like not a thing that I want to do anymore, dude. I'm not old by any means, but damn, I used to work like a dog. Now I'm like, I don't want to do this, dude. But it's good. It's like I have the direction now. Like I made my point. Like I figured it out. I drew the line in the sand kind of thing. It's like, this is where I'm going now. And that was hard to make because it's kind of like, it's not ripping my identity out, but it's like, there's a fork in the road and I got to figure out which one I want to focus on. So
good, man. Well, I'm excited for you. I'm sure the members or the listeners, I should say the members, the listeners are excited for you too. And the coolest thing about you, and I think something that is a positive about me, is we're pretty open doors about like where we plan to go.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean we're gonna make it, man. But we're like open to talking about it and hoping. And like it's important for you guys to see that we're gonna struggle. It's important for everybody here that's like normal. The doubts, the talking in your head, how much we talk in our own heads as well. And you know what? At the end of the day, your goals are high enough that they might not get achieved. And I think that is really important. Like if you know you're gonna hit this, then you wouldn't be nervous. And it wouldn't be that goal probably wouldn't be worth working for.
Right.
Right. So aim high, aim small, miss small.
Yeah, true.
Let's go for it. Hit that target.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What do they say? You aim for the star, aim for the moon and you'll land among the stars.
Yeah.
Like that sounds great.
Definitely something my grandma said.
Right.
That
sounds great though. Like shoot for the moon, man. You might hit a star.
Yeah.
That just something like you said. Like I'm nervous. I'm nervous now even talking about it because like you said, I'm making my claim right now. And like, does it work? Will it work? I got no idea, but I'm gonna hope that it works.
Yeah,
it better work.
It'll work. It'll work,
yeah.
And you can hope and wish all you want, but the one thing that stands in between all that is the work, and I know you're willing to put it in.
100%.
So let's get on it, man.
Let's go.
Let's get on it.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this has been an awesome show. It's been great having you guys along for this ride. We appreciate it. I hope you guys are enjoying the rebrand. Mike and I will be talking about merch coming out soon, and if you guys are interested or if you have ideas, shoot them our way. Remember, Mike sponsors that Morning Wood every single week, every single episode. Drop us a comment so we can talk about it. If we choose your comment and we actually get some merch, maybe we'll be able to send something your way. But for now, we are in the growing stages and you are helping us grow. Please share, like, subscribe, all those beautiful things that you've been doing. Our membership, our actually listeners, has gone up like huge in the last couple of weeks.
That's
because
awesome.
you know what? it's us. It's us putting in our full attention into what we're doing, and I wasn't doing that until I brought you back. I was at the start of this thing with Casey, and then I was kind of lost, and then you got on here, and we are all in, and then it took you a bit to kind of get your feet, and now you're rolling, baby. So it's awesome to have you guys. Thank you so much. And from Mike and I, over and out.
Over and out.
Peace.